When the turtle dance can generally last a lot longer than normal, so you would more or less expect only 2 turtles per game, and on average maybe 2.5 turtles, right? So we would generally start to think that, okay, lot fight will happen a lot earlier, the first lot generally will come in a lot earlier, which means that snowball potential could be the main difference here.
Yep, I think these map changes really encourage your fighter side lanes to really start rotating earlier, right? Like we want to see more rotations early off the bat, especially with broken walls. You get to sneak in from the other side. Usually, that's where the walls is being built, and we also start to see a certain trend that most of the teams these days, even though with broken walls, they pick a lot of Grok. Yesterday, I would say it's almost 100% pick ban rate for Grok as well. So, and this is a hero that both Lozy and Powerful can play as well.
So understandably, right off the bat, we do have very expected bans, right? Lancelot, Hayabusa. In fact, actually having these two banned out is a huge respect over to Yon, right? They are basically saying we don't want to see you playing any of these, while completely foregoing some of the other heroes such as the Angela, Baxia, Yisuchin, which for in this case, Baxia and Yisuchin already taken out by KE. That baton is thrown over to KE.
Yep. But if you take a look at the jungle pool, right, it's really getting slowly diminished, right? You've got the Lancelot, you got Hayabusa, the Baxia, and the Yushin Chin. What's next is probably like what the Fredgens coming back. You may probably even see the likes of your what's it called, the Joy coming back for the side of Aether.
So not only the fact that we're slimming down the jungle pool, and just because there's more jungles going up into the ban pool, that means that a lot of the fighters and the tank heroes are actually going to be up online and available for the picking. With CC being one of the most used hero nowadays due to her natural lane dominance. And let's not forget, team fight base Chip is currently available too.
Yeah, if you take a look, CC is a solid opener for the side Team Evo. Yesterday when Team Flash fought against Team Evo, CC was permaban. And if you notice, after that, Team Evo wasn't having really good games. So I think that's something that Team Flash has done is their homework. Not too sure about Kingdom Esports. So Kingdom Esports, on the other hand, selected Akimi for side of FMM and also the Gato Kancha. Once again, Gato Kancha should go into the hands of Lozy. The AOG is permanently a very scary ultimate.
So this will also discourage Evil to play any form of heroes such as the Farsa or perhaps the Yi. But they still went in for the Yi and doubled down with a Grok to their midst.
Yeah, so it's back to team fight composition, right? There's a slight pick-off with the CC, but then again, you can also tilt this clash comp for the side of Team Evil to use the real-world manipulation to catch any person from the side of Kingdom Esports. However, the best part about the Eve is that you're also immune to CC. When the AOG lands on top of you, your real-world manipulation does again deactivate, but the box still gets to basically lock people down as they try to enter and save people.
So a bit of aerial denial still for Evil. But with the CC in play, that doesn't necessarily mean that. However, the CC can always be flexed over to the gold lane. So we shouldn't exactly be, kind of fixated on that part. With the Esmeralda pick from Kingdom Esports, that is a lot of vagueness coming in from both teams' draft, which I absolutely like because now jungle heroes not picked out at all. There are 4 ban slots that can attribute to more jungle bans, which is actually kind of scary.
Yeah, this is definitely going to help Kingdom Esports a lot more, right? Even if you start locking down on all these junglers, Kingdom Esports is going to come out from the draft with 1 more pick. So technically speaking, I'm very certain that Kingdom Esports will select their junglers right there, unless they want to see what Team Evo wants to go for, right? Right now, there's also another possibility where Kingdom Esports is thinking, hey, Ven is also start looking at all these fighter jungles, like the Cho can get removed as well. The CC, like what you mentioned, may get shifted over to the side of the gold lane. That's why Kingdom Esports went for the ban on the Arlo as Team Evil continues to trim down the jungle pool.
Fanny, Arlot says goodbye. Some of the other junglers, okay, maybe we don't talk too much about junglers because right now, yes, both of them required. Mage out, Roam out. We're left with either XP or gold, which pretty much attributes to any form of fighter junglers. With Ruby and Lapu Lapu that's currently still available as well, I think that is something that we gotta have to look out for. Jungler bans are a lot easier to pinpoint because it's really an either-or situation here. Both teams could really have assassin junglers for their side, especially since for the side of KE, they do have pretty beefy front lines already. They can actually take things back a little bit more.
That's Bruto getting taken down. Kingdom Esports not really going to continue to trim down the jungle pool. Instead, like what I mentioned, they're going to even take out, they're basically focusing mostly on Ven, right? Making sure that Ven doesn't really have a good game. The Bruto was something of a very interesting ban coming out from the side of Kingdom Esports. I wasn't expecting that one because I was expecting maybe a Harif ban, but, I think Kingdom Esports actually baiting Team Evo into that because they've already got an Esmeralda in, so they're not afraid of the Harif.
As such, the R4 pick towards the side of Kingdom, the way that they have right now is not a telltale sign for anything. They can definitely play more Aerial Denial per se. Phovius is currently still available as well if they want to buy a bit of time per se in order to really enable their jungler, +1 junglers or so on or along those lines. But they will lack a lot of damage. So in my honest opinion, probably just work along with a marksman at this point. Is Granger still available? Yeah. So yeah, I would personally say just go out for the Granger. Yep,
Granger's perfect for the side of Kingdom Esports. Like what I mentioned to death, right? Granger and also Kimi is a solid warm-up combo together. So right now, Kingdom Esports, this is hinting towards a Uranus jungle that we saw yesterday. And I think that's also did quite well for the side of Yon, right? As a Uranus jungle. It's like, let me just double check on that stat as well.
Okay, so while he gets onto that, this kind of throws Evil a little bit off guard as they currently have no idea what the next pick is going to be. Is it going to be a marksman? Is it going to be a jungler?
See value?
You see value in me? Yeah. But the Granger will be picked up for the side of Evil. I do like this composition. There is a lot of ways that they will be able to funnel the gold over to the side of Granger in order to get themselves the snowball potential that they really wanted.
Yep, Uranus actually played by Yon yesterday in a game against Stallions, and they won with this particular strat. Uranus is so annoying, especially in this particular patch. You can just do a lot of damage to him, and then he'll just laugh it off. And basically, he acts like a secondary Lozy, right? Lozy always likes to go in, baits all the utilities out, and then after that get laugh as he AOGs out of there, or AOGs in as a way to engage. And now this also opens up on a lot of opportunity for, FMM to do a lot of damage with the Kimi, but I think they're running low on damage. They need to find something else, perhaps like this.
So this is good. The moment that we kind of see a situation where there is both Esmeralda and the Uranus, it's very difficult for you to say that, okay, one's going gold, one is going gold, one is going XP. The reason is also because of the fact that if you have both of these in the side lanes, then who are you realistically creating that zoning potential in the early stages of the game for? And Kimi is not a hero that you would want to funnel your gold into. So with the Uranus in the jungle, you create so much space in the early stages, it enables your gold laner, whoever that is, to travel all across the map, top, middle, bottom, to funnel all this gold. So this game is all about map denial, lane denial, and river control.
Yeah, if you talk about river control, Kingdom Esports definitely has a better time at that because of the Gatakacha AOG could go there anytime very quickly. Esmeralda with the bonus movement speed and the Uranus can also hard gang very easily. However, Team Evil, I'm looking at this roster. If you don't burst down the Uranus quickly, the Uranus is just gonna take all your utilities and get out there, and all of a sudden Team Evo is running low on steam, and then all of a sudden, Kingdom Esports could also re-engage very easily and basically take advantage on the cooldowns of the enemy.
So with that all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping right in over to the land of Dawn with Evil onto the blue side, and of course, Kingdom Esports onto the red side, both of which are gonna be starting it off over at their purple buff, which is going to go onto the opposite direction at the end of the jungle rotation.
Symmetrical clear coming up from both of these two teams. Uranus seems like he's the one that left the purple buff first. We talk about the mid lane, how they're going to be able to rotate even faster. I would say, looking at what we're seeing right here, both these two teams can clear very fast. And what we talked about earlier just now, they want to get river control as quickly as possible. Kingdom Esports should be more seems like they're more active around the map because of the fact that we got solid AOGs. Even a Spear of Destruction could always easily land onto the turtle, and all of a sudden you find yourself at a 5v4 during the first turtle.
So the good thing is that Kingdom Esports actually do have got a pretty good lineup that can go for cross-map plays, while Evil don't particularly have. Evil's gameplay and game style is a lot of front to back, and they want to play for team fights. This is a very micro-intensive team composition without the need of high mechanics. So it's a lot easier to pull off. Instant gratification when it comes down to initiation from Powerful, follow up from Aether as well as Sailor. Evil's lineup can fare very well.
Oh, speaking of which, it's gonna be Esmeralda getting torn up just a little bit. Insanity will be able to limp away, even burns the Purify right off the bat.
It doesn't seem like things from either team is gonna get an early payoff just in time, at least for now, right? But we gotta talk a little bit more about lane priority. CC always is gonna trump in the lane, while in the meantime, in the gold lane, it will always be kind of like a skill matchup between a Moskov as well as a Granger. Both of them are very linear.
Looking around, but it's gonna be Aether picking up the turtle right off the bat. Sailor goes into real world manipulation. Yon getting torn up just a little bit. He tries to limp away, but Aether will be able to catch on to him. And now with a tectonic charge, unlocked by the right side of Powerful, he slams FMM to the wall. And he's still inside the fight. The members want to start Kingdom Esports. Not enough damage, and even with the traction pulse, it's not good enough, Abstract.
Oh man, right in the middle of a team fight, that's not exactly what you want to. Or in the middle of a team fight, having a pause is like the worst case scenario ever. But to be fair, it's almost to the end of the team fight anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like, getting pulled out right out of the Matrix prematurely. Wait, do kids even know what Matrix is? No. They probably know John Wick. Keanu Reeves. Yeah. We just revealed our age, ladies and gents.
Mostly yours, for now.
We're same age.
Shut up.
Anyways, it's very premature, but from that sequence that you saw, it seems like, what we mentioned about Kingdom Esports running out of steam just a little bit in terms of the damage department right there. Even though, yes, they do have a Kimi from the side of FMM that's actually tagging on to these damage, but Evo has a lot more damage in their kit, right? Like, especially from the side of CC, the side of Sailor as well, on the real, on the Yim, that box was so well placed and it also controlled. And, once the turtle gets taken down, Tectonic Charge gets unlocked, they follow up with another kill. It is a very, very aggressive team composition that Team Evo has filled out. And this is what we call the Team Evo magic.
Now, on the other hand, right, looking at Kingdom Esports lineup, the way that they kind of want to play into team fights, it is actually also more front to back due to the fact that they do have a Moskov. They focus on the front and then slowly bleeds over to the back. The good thing about them is that they do have got a good amount of splash, or what I would like to call AoE, right? In this case, because of the Gato Kacha, Esmeralda, El Uranus, they are more of a divey component where they can pretty much capture everyone in its true essence by doing whatever AoE effects that they can. The only weakness about this draft is the fact that they do not have a proper anchor right next to Kimi or Moskov. With both of these marksmen having a slightly shorter range, it actually puts them a lot closer to the enemies, which means that whoever that can jump, in this case Grok and CC, actually Fredrin as well, they actually have a lot easier access to the backline, which kind of creates a little bit of a split between the front lines of Kingdom Esports and the back lines of Kingdom Esports.
Yep. After the dust has settled, yes, it is Team Evo that picks up the first turtle of now. That's actually a really good sign for the side of Team Evo. It's going to help, Sailor, or even to a certain extent Aether on this refreshing to really escalate out of control. And now Kingdom on the other side, they really have to try another way right here, because this is a very dive-heavy team composition, right? Like what you mentioned, if the Kimi or even Grunt is unable to find a very good position to output the damage, Kingdom Esports is going to repeat the same thing that happened for the side of team for the first turtle.
So it is very, very, very slow-paced game right off the bat.
Yep.
But we do have the turtle that will be available again very soon. But we need to remember that Evil does have the first turtle, which is going to help them a tad little bit. But that is only a 1,000 gold lead with a 1-for-1 trade, at least for now.
Yeah, it feels like, hold on a second, that's a lot of damage that absorbed by the side of Gear. Pops the Vengeance right off the bat, but CC can generally hold very well in lane for himself as we look at a second turtle spawn for this game.
So at this point, top lane.
Tectonic charge right onto Lozy. AOG unable to get landed because Aether is knocking him up, and now Kingdom Esports will go into this turtle fight in a deficit.
As now Aether continues to put down more of these impact onto Yon. It is a jungle versus jungle situation, and of course Aether, level 7, would win in the 50-50 if they continue with this.
Yeah, also joining the fight right here, members for the side, Team Evo still able to secure the turtle for themselves. Kingdom Esports losing Lozy right there is not exactly ideal. AOG will be able to attack onto Aether. Aether knocks Lozy up. No follow-up side, Kingdom Esports. Team Evo gets off scot-free.
As we slowly move on, with two of the turtle for the side of Evil, this is the advantage that we want to see coming in from Evil.
Nice Spear of Destruction and Misery as well. Van tried to cut out just a little bit powerful, using the wall to push Grunt off slightly, saving the gold lane. So Van is still A-okay for now. Both of the roamers, or rather, both of the gold laners, they are actually a lot more slower than we would expect. They need time to eventually be able to pop up, and with the amount of zonal tool that Evil have, and of course with the 2,000 gold lead that they have, it is going towards the favor of Van a lot more. This would enable Van to farm in the top lanes and the middle lanes very effectively if Evil gonna make sure that they zone Kingdom away. Lozy getting stunned up just a little bit more. FMM outputting the damage, but it seems like Powerful is slightly unfazed. That's a Sky Piercer already built for the side of Ven.
With very quick amounts of damage right through the middle lane creep wave. That is the mid lane priority that we want right off the bat. But it is a Kimi plus Grok after all.
Yep.
They can clear fast, but it is also not... Yeev plus Grog, right? Yeev plus Grog is pretty fast, actually. But there is a gutter clutch on the opposite side.
Aether stepping forward just a little bit, the Spear, Misery, and using the SOD.
Oh.
What an outplay coming off the side of Grant.
Very good outplay. And in this case, Lozy finds himself top spot.
Immediately getting blocked by the wall as well. Y'all stepping forward just a little bit. Kimi in a very good position. Aether getting melted down. That's a tectonic charge coming out from the side. A powerful Yarn getting slow immobilized. Sailor lands on fire from the sky. Lozy following soon. Sailor picking up a double kill.
This is a lot of fightings that's going on in the gold lane. What we would have originally expected is more of these rotations to go down to the bottom lane. However, it is also always because of these neutral objectives that constantly popping off into the gold lane. So this is incentivized for Evil to make their way to the northern side. And this also allows Van to pick up a couple of these assists, which should put him at least 1,000 gold ahead of Grant.
Easy total coming off inside of Team Evo. 3 totals in their pocket. This is going to allow Team Evo to escalate out of control. Speaking about snowballing, Aether, and also powerful, a death ball from the side of Team Evo. Kingdom Esports unable to hold them down.
The rest of the members from Evil, they managed to find themselves a little bit of a retreat. But the main thing is they want to ensure that they are in a capable fight or a good enough fight. They managed to bring down the T1 turret up to the top lane and would generally want to look at the middle lane in order to really enable this Granger with unlimited resources.
Yep, the wall being built by the side of Powerful. Jinsana takes some pot shots from the side of Ven. This is not looking good for the side of Kingdom Esports. Seems like they really need to try and unlock Grant as quickly as possible, but Team Evo is not letting up steam. Elozy, AOG lands where he stands, but this time around it's going to be Gear getting melted down by the side of Kingdom Esports.
As such, it kind of seems as though that the Uranus play, or rather what Uranus is looking out for, the way that they drafted Uranus is not gonna work out at all, right? Because what we want to see from Uranus is that he's just constantly proxying the lane, pushing everyone else away, and just make sure that no one will be able to get through the river line.
Lozy, there's no way for him to run right there. There's another free Sky Piercer stack delivered into the plate of Ven, and this is exactly what I want to see from the side of Team Evo, identifying that Ven is so much comfortable using these marksmen, and he's going to scale out of control. Kingdom Esports, on the other hand, they need to slow down just a little bit. The insurance policy lies in the hand of Grant. Grant needs to farm as quickly as possible, Abstract.
is a tall order. It's an extremely tall order in order for Grant to get all of that kind of farm that we're talking about. He needs at least 12, 13 minutes if they are completely neck and neck with Evil. But now that they are 4,000 down, on the natural curve of a normal game, I would say that Kingdom Esports should at least be 24,000 gold or 25,000 gold. But not in this case. There needs some time for Kingdom to pop off. Now, we already have the Lord available. This is Evil's priority. The enmity is going towards the Evil, and it does seem like Evil really wants to do something here.
Catching on to gear right here. Real manipulation zones out the rest of the member for the side. Kingdom Esports, AOG for the side. Lowsy already committed for the side. Just get on the way as Evil takes out the Lord for himself. No escape and also no response coming out of Kingdom Esports apart from that bot lane instead.
That is the cross-map play that I'm talking about from the side of Kingdom. They are a team that can play that, and this is a natural counter to what Evil always want to do, to play as 5. And the moment that Kingdom does that, Evil is forced to either, number one, split up or find valuable trades. In this case, what Evil will want to go for is to go for Lord advantage. Even though they lost the bottom lane 2 turrets, it's okay because they still have the middle lane T1. With this Lord, this would almost guarantee a possibility of bringing down the T1 in the middle lane, which will further flush Kingdom into their own base, giving them access.
Whoa! What's that damage? Aether!
Red team turret has been destroyed.
Okay, I did not see that coming at all.
I've never seen.
Hot damn!
He just bonked out of existence.
Look, I'm pretty sure the FMM did not expect that as well.
I also did not expect that kind of damage coming off of Aether. And that's not what half Grey health.
Look, this just kind of shows how much fatter Aether is.
Oh my goodness me, if Aether can bonk FMM out of existence, Yon cannot definitely survive that onslaught as the siege from the side Team Evil is there, and they will be able to penetrate into Kingdom Esports. Grant, the spear of destruction. No, he doesn't really dare to take that as Aether gets melted down just a little bit by the side of FMM, and Evil will get out of there.
From this point on, FMM will have forever the PTSD of at least a half HP Fredrin. We don't want to see that. You make a sound, but that is clearly not a... It's a bong. It's not just a bong.
Man.
That is a Viking scream right there.
I wasn't expecting that kind of damage from the Appraiser's Wrath, and I don't think FMM is ready for that one. But man, that's really scary. As you know, I'm not looking forward to be the receiving end from that one.
Honestly, when that happens, all I can think about is Sparta. Can you imagine the scream?
The kick. This is Sparta kicks you off into the hole. Yep, another movie reference to show our age, Abstract.
Shut up.
Anyways, right now Kingdom Esports does have a leaky hole up over the top, and now it's all about this Lord fight around in the next 30 seconds.
As such, 8-2 with a total of 8,000 gold lead in favor for Evil. This is not going to be a great front for Kingdom. They are lacking quite a lot. If you take a look at Moskov, 3 items, not too bad.
Not too shabby either.
He can't deal with front line.
Right now, FMM, oh powerful, knocking up Yon right here. Losey comes with the AOG right in the middle of the werewolf manipulation there, picking up stacks like it's John Wick as he just ignores the Lord right there. Powerful slamming Insanity, no way for him to run. Another stack for the side of Ven.
And now Moskov is still split pushing, so he needs to find an answer with this. Go back home and continue.
I think he really has to back off because Grant needs to try to go back for the defense. The SOD will land. Grant is the only one left. And as the minutes penetrating into as Team Evil just finishing up, cleaning up shop against Kingdom Esports. Hey, wipeout for Team Evil.
A noble sacrifice coming in from side of Grant. He needed to really sacrifice himself in order to send all of that creep waves back home. If not for the sacrifice, that would have been game over right there.
But that sacrifice means that you literally give another stack over to Ven. Ven is 6-0-4. His stacks, what, 40 stacks by now?
Probably at this point in time. He did have quite a bit of kills right off the bat. Actually, no, he had a lot of assists right at the start of the game. So with that early 0-0-3 by I think about 5 minutes, it's fair to say that he would have got a Sky Piercer during the first kill. So best case scenario, 60.
Ben picking up the War Axe already is going to be able to look for a lot more sustain in these fights. Now the core unable to heal up just in the middle of time, and now it's all about the team fight. The Lord being led in by the side of Team Evil, FMM and Lozi focusing on the wave clear. AOG to Zone will be able to catch onto Aether. Goes into Revitalize as well, and there's also the traction powers, and then guns down Lozi, guns down Yon, and the core looks juicy as Team Evil takes game number 1.
A very decisive victory going over to the hands of Evil, ending their game way earlier than we would have originally expected. What a great start to Evil. This is a great morning for them.
Yeah, man, like, well, technically it's already the afternoon in Singapore. It's 12:30-ish, round up just a little bit. But man, I would like to see that bonk again. As if you play Fredgen a lot, you feel very good just watching that sequence.
I would say so, yeah. That is a... Once again, that is not just a bonk.
It's a bonk.
It was not a bonk.
I mean, bonked out of existence.
That
is a very worthy frame to be put above your bed.
Bonk out of existence.
Yeah.
And then the existence is kind of cropped out of the picture because that is out of existence, right?
True.
Right?
You show
Think out of the box.
Yeah, think out the real world manipulation box, yeah?
I guess so.
I think that's basically the key of the game for that particular round, because it's Team Evil that's trapping Kingdom Esports inside the box. They're unable to maneuver outside the box. They need to think around the box, and they're not able to find these fights because it's just, you know, Team Evil setting up these boxes very well, Grok to follow up, and then after that it's just, you know, a Fredgen bonks people out of existence.
Unfortunately, I would say that as much as they would want to think about team fights and how they would want to navigate around the team fights, I think that is more thinking about one step ahead. Because the way that their composition is drafted is that they want to be able to have significant impact all the way from the start of the game. With a Uranus, they can't do they can't do that much in team fights.
Yeah, MVP, well deserved for that bonk. Man, I want to see that clip again during the break because I think it's really satisfying to watch. It's like, you know, when you're scrolling through Instagram and you have these things like people just like scraping off soap while they tell you something, that can be on repeat and I can learn something from it.
I suppose so. I just didn't really quite expect it that Fredgen will have that kind of bonk damage. Oh man, I'm calling it bonk too now.
Yeah, it's a bonk.
Yeah, we'll take that, right? So early into the game, right? But back to the topic of what I would talk about the Uranus. Uranus takes time to eventually pop up. And Uranus really needs Radiant stacks to upkeep with the amount of regeneration and healing. Otherwise, you'll always need to use your consecration before team fight happens, just so that you can build up on those stacks. And unfortunately, that is not optimal. What you would want out of your consecration is to use it mid-battle so that you can weave in, or rather weave out and in to the battles again within a very short span of time. So that is my only qualm when it comes down to a Uranus, but that is just secondary. The primary role of Uranus is zoning and playing for the map, which Kingdom couldn't.
Yeah, because Kingdom Esports, once they found out they're really running out on steam, they really cannot keep up the sustain and the early game damage, right? Because Team Evil was just too far ahead, right? Using gear, especially with the CC, you got a lane bully, you have a natural weak lane in down the EXP lane, and then after that you got a Grandeur. So basically what Team Evil just did is that they are able to secure 2 strong side lanes for themselves, and in the mid lane they are able to wave clear fast to match up with Kingdom Esports, and they get, you know, dips in rotating first.
So ultimately, with all this information that we have on hand, with a lot of these kills and assists from the side of Evil, Kingdom Esports have only managed to get a total of 2 kills, 1 to Insanity and 1 to Yon. It makes sense for them to have these, but ultimately, it is about the early stage, or rather, the early game damage. They lack that.
Yeah, immediately you can see, right, from the stats in the turtle takedown, Team Evil was the one that secures all 3 turtles and also 2 lords for them. That's just total map dominance from the get-go. And if you notice, that's like, what, a 13 kill deficit, right? Team Evil is just escalated out of control. Kingdom Esports unable to hold.
So if we were to change the lineup a little bit, or Honestly, I think that this is kind of tough because the Kimi and the Gata Gacha is always going to be a very standard staple pick. It's always good for R1 and R2s. They want to play late game with the amount of zoning potential that they could do with the Uranus. So ultimately, if they wanted to flex the Uranus into the jungle, it would have been better to just remove the Esmeralda so that they can bring some other damagey XP laners right off the bat.
I would feel that Esmeralda actually does quite a decent amount of damage. Just take a look, 98k damage, 98k damage taken, yes, 21k damage dealt. Actually, in fact, did more damage as compared to the gold laner, right? That's one point. I think the second point that if you really want to shake things up on the side of Kingdom Esports, you trade that Uranus for an Xbox. The Xbox does exactly what the Uranus does, zone denial, more bursty damage, burns down Aether with the true percentage damage, and also zones out Sailor as well. So I think personally, you can go for that one from the side of Kingdom Esports because in the early game, they're really lacking in damage.
I think that they both have a certain amount of similarity.